I pushed really hard for Bernie Sanders in 2016, and this video is going to really show why I just can't get behind him now in 2019. In 2017, Bernie Sanders gets asked about universal basic income, and that first clip's going to sound a lot like Andrew Yang, like how he sounds now. Then you're going to hear Bernie get asked the same thing in 2019 because of Andrew Yang, and you're going to hear him backtrack and give a different proposal. Pretty much saying, hey, everyone should get guaranteed a job from the government. He doesn't frame it like that, but that's really the only thing he can actually promise, and that's kind of what he says. And finally, you're going to hear Andrew Yang answer a question at South by Southwest of, hey, instead of universal basic income, should the government guarantee you a job? That answer is why I cannot vote for Bernie Sanders in 2019. I hope you enjoy.
We can go on for hours. These are all enormously important issues. Nobody knows exactly what the impact of robotics and automation will be. But it's clear we're seeing it already. I mean, there used to be in Detroit and all over this country where you had automobile manufacturing. They're now producing more cars with far fewer workers, and that trend will only continue. In terms of transportation, we have millions of people today who make their living by driving a truck or a taxi cab or using a car. The day will likely come, I suppose, where we'll have driverless trucks and cars. What does that do to the millions of people who earn their living now? And I think the fundamental issue that has to be dealt with is that technology is not a bad thing in itself. But technology cannot simply be used by the owners of the technology. It's got to be used to benefit all of our people. So if we replace a dangerous job with a machine, that's a good thing. That doesn't mean you simply displace the worker and throw him or her out on the street. And that raises the question of basic income for everybody and so forth. So it is an issue that has not gotten the attention that it deserves, but it's hovering in front of us, and we have to deal with it.
Thank you.
I know you've expressed support for universal basic income in the past in your interviews, but there's this guy, Andrew Yang, that wants to give everybody $1,000 a month with a VAT tax. And I think to win the Democratic primary, you got to do that. You got to give everybody $1,000.
I got a better idea.
Nope. Won't do it?
Nope. Sorry you came all the way from Alabama. All right, here's the better idea. Okay. Okay. Here's the better idea, I think. I understand that idea. I have a better idea. And the better idea, I think, is that in a nation in which there is so much work to be done, just think about it. You got an infrastructure which is crumbling. We can put millions of people to work doing that. Transforming our energy system in terms of weatherizing homes all over this country, building a more efficient energy transportation system, putting more money into wind and solar and other sustainable technologies. We can create millions of jobs doing that. Think about daycare. You want a world-class child care center? You need well-educated, well-trained, well-paid child care workers. We need many of them. We need more doctors in rural areas and in urban areas. We need more nurses. We have a dental crisis all over this country. We need to train dentists and get them out there. We need more social workers. You want to reform our criminal justice system? Well, you're going to need people to start working with prisoners. You want kids not dropping out of high school? You're going to need mentors working with them. There is an enormous amount of work to be done. And what we believe in is guaranteeing a job in this country to anybody who is prepared to work. I think that's the better approach.
I think a federal jobs guarantee program is well intended, but would be somewhere between problematic and disastrous in practice. Just like if you imagine a world where it's like, hey, there's no job for you, you're going to die of starvation, but don't worry, we've got this government job for you. And then you show up, and then let's say it's like, you don't like the job, you don't like your boss, like, like that there are some problems. It's like, well, you don't have a choice because this is your only means of survival. And so then you wind up with this bureaucracy, like doling out subsistence jobs that are necessary for people to survive. And then you have people get politically activated around that. Like this is a sure path to dystopia. And unfortunately, that seems to be the direction we're trending. So I love the spirit of a federal jobs guarantee. If we could all magically have jobs that worked out and that we liked and that helped make the earth more sustainable, like that would be great. But in practice, that stuff is going to be very, very difficult and expensive and cumbersome and give rise to a whole new army of bureaucrats who measure our performance.